if you've read the case study, you've learned about 30% of what the case wants to pass across. If you participate and you are quiet, you get an additional 20%. But if you take a stand and you come into the arena, so really stick out your neck on what you believe, what are your views, what your position is, I'll tell you, you get to learn a lot. Because it's only when you take a stand and the stand is kind of challenged, this is where change is possible. The arena of change happens only when you say, this is my own position. But if you are quiet on your own position, chances are that, look, you never really get to learn as much as you would have, because the opportunity to adjust your thinking, to resize your views on the subject, you didn't explore it. So let me try and meet. Okay. So that's just by way of introduction. So as our usual practice again, we want volunteers who will come on, raise their digital hands, and just take us through what the case study is all about. So 1, 2, 3. So let me look for digital hands to take us through the case study. So I'm waiting. Okay, Temitayo, you can go ahead.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Yes, so the case study is about Adam and his the new position he wants to get in his company, the company. So Adam is a very smart, loyal, and persistent worker, and he hopes to get the CEO position of new hotel acquisition the company wants to venture into. But Erwin, which is his boss, and also he has a good relationship with him, doesn't seem to think Adam is capable for the position of a CEO because of his nature as a very nice person. So Adam was offended by this news he had through the phone about Erwin telling him that he was not fit for the job. So they met and Erwin explained why he wasn't fit for the job, that the hotel business required brutality, being brutal and all that. So after this, Adam went to meet his friend for advice. His friend and his wife. His friend advised him that he should let it go, and explain to him that he could explore that option since he's good at he enjoys planning events, that he's good at those kind of things. But the wife said that Erwin owes him that position because of the amount of things he has done for the company, that he has been hardworking, he has been doing a lot for the company. He's not like he's not working hard. He's very good at what he does at work. And Adam has been giving hints that he wanted to run the new business. So after the meeting with his friends, the next meeting he had with Erwin, Erwin discussed with him that he could grant him any wish that he wants. And the question was that, should Adam ask Erwin for the position as the CEO?
Okay, what is your own take before I let you go? Should Adam ask for the position of the CEO?
I think Adam is a nice person. He's not so brutal from his experience of work. But if you want the CEO position, as Erwin said, it requires someone that is brutal. It could be nice and then it could be brutal at the same time, because there are people who are at workspace that they are nice, their personality is nice, But when it comes to work, they can be brutal. And so if Adam really wants it, I feel like he could also do that. But at the same time, he should actually think if he can undo that position as a person by himself, if he can handle that position, if he's that kind of person that can also do that. And if he's not, he should lean into other positions that he can handle.
If you were Adam, would you ask for it?
If I were Adam and I know that deep down I don't have the requirements for what Erwin is asking for, I want to go for it.
No, you say deep down. From the case study.
Yeah, like if I reflect on myself, if Adam reflects on himself and actually think deep that, okay, can he actually handle what Erwin is requesting for? Someone that is brutal at work. And if he cannot do it, I don't see why he should actually go for it.
Okay. All right. Precious, you were raising your hand at one time. Precious Chuku.
Hi, good morning, everybody.
Yeah, good morning.
Okay, so I'll just go straight to answering the last question since you already explained the whole thing. So being nice, I think Adam wasn't fit for that position. So if I were Adam, I just saw the whole thing this morning. So if I was Adam, I would just be more assertive. And generally, I think that the concept of being nice, well, maybe after the whole meeting, we'll just do that. But if I was Adam, I would definitely not ask immediately, but I would work on the things that made him say those words and then probably ask later. That's what I think. I'm not properly informed on the whole matter, but that's what I think.
So if you were Adam, you will not ask for the CEO position?
I would ask, but not immediately. Not because
Not
he had
immediately. They are going to let them appoint somebody else as CEO.
No, like going back, it won't be just give me the CEO position. Of course, have a conversation. Why should not just say give me I want to be the CEO? Like why? Like be more assertive with my questions for him. Why do you think I shouldn't be the CEO? What qualities should the CEO possess that I don't have? Just probably put the CEO or put Erwin, I don't know his name, through a few questions. Like be more assertive. Like I think I've worked hard for it. I think I deserve to be here. What is the problem? Like just have not just say I want to be the CEO. There should be like a lot of questions, respectful, and then questions that come off with a lot of courtesy, but from a standpoint of I've earned it, I've worked over time here, and this is what it should be. Not just coming off to say I will not accept it, or I will accept, or I will not work, or like she said, like Temitayo said, is by asking the right questions. Why do you think I shouldn't earn it? I mean, why do you think I shouldn't be the CEO? What are the things I have done wrong? But I have worked thus far and all of that. Just be more assertive, respectfully.
Sorry, I don't get you. Personally. Are you saying that being assertive is going to ask questions? Is that what assertiveness means?
Not in this case. I would be more, in this case, I would not just say I deserve it, like she said, oh, I don't deserve it, or I have not earned it. Like I'm just saying from Temitayo's point of view, like she just said, oh, she will not take it because, or she's not fit, so she won't take it. I mean, I would ask the right questions. I would not just accept it, even if I don't earn it, or even if I don't become the CEO.
What questions are you going to ask again? You've been told that the hotel industry is brutal and you are not brutal. What are you going to ask again?
The hotel industry is brutal and I am not brutal. That means I haven't been brutal all the while. So how can I be better? How can I earn the right? How can I be brutal in a way that suits
you
the
are going
hotel?
to ask Merwin how you be brutal.
I think so. If I was the one personally, like, I mean, if I'm fit for the position and I'm not giving, and it's not given to me, I'll definitely ask. I mean, real life, it's happened to me severally. I've always called the, the kind person, the person character, to do that. So the last time I asked questions, I was fired, but I was happy that I asked the right questions and I didn't just take it like that. So yeah, that's what I would do.
Okay. All right, thank you. Faith, you are raising your hand. Go ahead, Azeta.
Good morning, sir. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning, man.
Good morning, ma.
Yeah, I think if I just want to comment based on the last question you asked, Omotayo. If Adams, I would want to find out what it means to be brutal, because obviously Adam has all the qualities. The way Mervyn described, said the business isn't just tricky, but it is brutal. So I want to find out, what does it mean to be brutal? I think the brutal is something that should be relative. Like, what kind of brutal are you really talking about that I need for this business for me to be able to be at the advantage of maybe having that position? That is what I would want to find, because obviously from the case study, Adam has a lot of qualities. The guy is good. He knows his job and all of that. It's just a personality thing that Mary is trying to hammer on about being brutal. So I want to find out, this brutal, what does it mean? What do I need to do? What does it mean to be brutal in that regard?
Okay, to say the guy is good. It is just a personality
Yes,
thing.
yes, sir.
I want you to talk more about that personality thing.
Okay, obviously Adam is a good guy. From the case study, he's someone that I think he's soft. He's someone that is soft. He's not a hard guy. He's a nice guy. Is that is someone you can generally say, okay, this person is a nice person. He's a good man. He has a good heart. He's soft. He's not hardened, and he looks like someone that cannot compromise, that would not want to do, because from what he said, the first time why the other company flopped, he said as in something about ethical and unethical. They wanted him to do they were trying to handle business in they are choosing of some unethical practices which he wasn't comfortable with. So I think that was what made that was a challenge he had when he was with Tallinn, the first company. So that's the personality thing I'm talking about, sir.
But okay, so if you understand what you are saying, so why are you going back to Merwin to say what does brutal mean? He's nice, he's soft. Why would you
Yes,
go back to Merwin to say what does it mean to be brutal?
Yes, sir. I want to, even if I might not take it, but let me understand what he means, what he's trying to say. The message is trying across that this thing is tricky, but you have to be brutal. I want him to explain what that brutal means. I just want to have an idea so that, because Adam is someone that has passion for this, and he failed in the other one. So this can help his decision in the future to know if this is really what he wants, and if this is what this industry entails, that you just have to be brutal to succeed, so that he can make his decision properly going forward. Or if he has to study Mervyn closely to know what that brutal means or how they apply it and what it entails, so he can make his decisions.
All right, thank you. Let me let you off the hook for now. So, okay, Jeremiah, your hand is up.
Thank you, sir.
Good morning, sir. Good morning, everyone.
Yeah, good morning.
Okay, so I think Adam is the nice guy because I was once like that. You know, you're easily agreeable, easygoing. Everybody likes you in the office. But when it's time to make some very tough decisions, you cannot be counted upon because you want to be empathic when you really shouldn't be. You know, like when I mean making some tough decisions. For example, when I was getting into real estate, an elder counseled me that you have to be tough, not this your gentle kind of person. He now gave an example that his cousin got into the same business and some boys came to harass him, the normal Agbero kind of thing, where they come, touts come into your property to ask for money and all that, come and settle us. The natural me would settle them and go. But what that guy did, he went to bring his own crazy people as well and dealt with those guys. And that was the last time they came to his property, you know. That was the example he gave to me that I shouldn't be like that. And I saw reasons as to why I shouldn't be like that, you know. So I just wanted to say that it doesn't really work when you need to be at the helm of affairs. You need to be able to make some hard decisions. Like another example would be that you're working in a company and then you have staff that are stealing constantly from you. All you need to do in the natural me would just scold and let it pass. But some other persons would just use police to pick one person and show example to the others, and that ends that craziness there. You know, people have different ways of dealing with things, but then there are certain times where certain hard decisions need to be made, like in some cases, letting go of some people, you know, so the company can move forward. Another example someone gave to me was that he was working somewhere and there was this girl that was always acting funny. It was as if he had something to do with the girl. She was always giving everybody issues, talking down on people. You know, it was giving himself a bad image. He had to let her go, not for sentimental reasons, but to be able to make the line clear that this is what this is. There's nothing here, you know. So that's what I think. The nice guy cannot in any way make those kind of very tough decisions when they need to be. That's why the boss didn't want him, because in a business that's brutal, like the hotel business, where pilfering is very, very common, people just steal and move things, you know, you just have to be very, very sharp in being able to deal with these situations. If not, they'll run you dry, especially in a place like Nigeria. That's my thoughts, sir.
Okay, what are the qualities of nice guys that makes them unattractive for leadership positions?
For me, it would be that they don't have I wouldn't use the word capacity. They don't have that gut, like that,
Temerity.
yes, to make those very hard decisions when they need to. I just gave a couple of examples. You know, I remember about 3 or 4 weeks ago when we were talking, I was explaining how I was working in the company, and then um, there were like some old folks that were there, the old guards. I couldn't really be able to just lead them. I was just easygoing and all that. And I started having problems there. You know, you just have to take charge and say yes. Not like you are doing it in such a way that becomes an issue, but you have to be able to assert yourself, show capacity to lead. It comes with some form of inner strength rather than being aggressive. You know, it's not about being aggressive, it's being able to make those tough decisions when you need to make them.
So in this particular case, do you think Adam will be able to make those tough decisions?
I don't think he would, according to what the boss thinks. He's creative. You know, he's been doing all of organizing these parties. In fact, that's what got him to the industry in the first place. He's creative. He's easily agreeable. He's able to do the work, like gather the information, gather the data, make informed decisions, and how do I put it? Present these findings for the boss to not be able to make these tough decisions, but for him to be able to make them might be an issue for him. That's why the boss thinks
But
he shouldn't
something that is coming to my mind, sometimes when you are number two, what you can do, he's number two now as chief operating officer. You are not really in a position to be assertive. I'll give you an example, or I'm not saying I know these people very well. Osibajo, let's say, is not the only one. Anybody who is vice president is in number two, but he's not the commander in chief. Many times we don't really know how he would behave if he becomes the commander in chief. So is it safe for Merwin to reach that conclusion that Adam cannot be a number one? He's a perfect number two.
Well, I believe they have spent time together. Using that same Osibanjo example, the few time he had the opportunity to stand in place for the president when the president was away, he took charge, and we could see a couple of decisions he made that gave me the impression that this man can actually make those tough decisions that needs to be made if he gets that opportunity. But for Adam, from the narrative so far, the boss has spent time with him and has concluded that yes, you are good at what you do. You're able to do the dirty work and bring out these findings. But when it comes to making these tough calls, I doubt if you can, because it's a messy business and you need to be tough to do that. And you don't have that toughness in you. Some people will equate it to street sense. You just have to have a mix of street sense and then be also bookworm so you can actually succeed, because there are certain businesses, and most times to us I've come to realize people who have staying power, that have done business to a large extent, most of them have a mix of these two. It's not just about being bookworm, going to school, get a good grades and all that. You also have to have a mix of what I would call street sense. I remember there was this man I met. He had done business over the years, and he was telling me his story, how he started with a barbing salon, went on to start an IT business, started a school, and the story of how everything began. It was purely what I would call street sense rather than actual academic knowledge, things he had gathered over time from being in the streets. And I don't think Adam has these qualities. That's why the boss didn't think he could lead.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. So who else wants to come? Who else wants to come into the courts? Okay, Oluchi, go ahead.
Thank you, sir. Good morning, sir. Good morning,
Good
everyone.
morning. Yeah.
I think we're missing out on more important information, because actually the boss did not state why he was not going to put Adam in that position, but he made a statement. It was like, going back on your history. I remember that there's a business that Adam started or managed that failed. Was it Tally Rampel or something like that? He was the CEO at 27 years old, but the company crashed, went bankrupt. So I was thinking that maybe that's another reason why the boss is considering Adam not to be fit for that position, because of the statement he made about going back to your history, going back on your history. I don't think this would be the right idea for you to be the CEO of this new hotel. So maybe, probably, it's not just about him being nice, because Adams is capable.
Adam is capable.
He said you're good as a... Yes, Adam is capable for that position. I don't think it's just him being so nice. Fine, the leader has to be assertive and all that. But as you said, some things are not just... There are other people are above you. You get that? Other people are above you. So that's what I feel. I just feel maybe that's another reason going back on his history.
Yeah, in me saying that, okay, sometimes when you are number two, you don't have the opportunity to show your assertiveness. But you know the people, don't you think so? You know from people working for you. If you remember the case study of Jack Welch, he was a young divisional manager, but the board went for him. And later on, the assertiveness he displayed, it's possible that there was something they saw in him. Something they saw in him way before, when he was even far from the CEO. So sometimes, even before you get to the C, because even at a manager level, you will know as CEO, if you are a manager. I mean, when I was CEO of ABB Power Lines, I know departmental managers they don't even do anything when staff come whenever they like. When staff come in, bring food, cook for the manager, you will know that those managers are people-pleasing managers, don't you?
Yes, sir.
So, do you think
There was
Adam?
something he said that I'm trying to understand.
Go on.
It was you're a perfect number two.
Mm.
So I'm still trying to understand that word though. You're a perfect number two, brilliant, empathetic, but I don't see you fitting the position. I don't know why he said that though.
Okay. Dr. Faith is raising her hand. Was there anybody who wants to, unless Dr. Faith wants to answer that question? If you want to answer that question, Dr. Faith, you can take the floor.
Thank you very much, sir. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
I actually think Adam has all the characteristics of a perfect number two. He's a good follower. He's too nice to lead. There was a time in my life I just, sorry, excuse me. I was so eager to be nice until I was reading the Gospels, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. And it suddenly hit me. Up until then, I felt Jesus was a nice guy. He was a nice person. But then it hit me, he wasn't nice in the context of nice. You see, a nice person can't tell off anyone in the way Jesus did, you brood of vipers. And you're telling that to the people who hold the knife and the yam of the day. And they want to stone the lady caught in adultery. And you open your mouth and say, he who has no sin should cast the first stone. Nice people don't do that. They don't take a stand on
What would nice people
anything.
have done on that kind of situation?
In that kind of situation, they will just duck in the crowd. You know, they will actually say nothing or just say, please, this is not my problem. You people know what the law says. Just look for a very politically correct way of getting through with it, because they don't take any stand for anything. I listened to that lady from Ghana. Sorry, I just got to work. Good morning. Who was talking about, she was talking about
Okay, well, like we're losing you. Okay. So let's come up. Okay, Precious, you are raising your hand. Go ahead.
Good morning again, everybody. So now that I've heard from everybody, I think that being number two, that Adam had been,
morning.
the boss had seen
Sorry,
him
please. In
and
our
all of that.
opinion,
Okay.
nice people don't take a stand on anything.
We're losing. Okay, I don't. Because he's walking on the corridor. Okay, Precious, are you go ahead if you have stable internet. Is Precious there?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
Sorry.
Okay, so
I got off for a while. Can I go on, sir?
Okay. Yeah, just briefly, go ahead.
Hello? Okay. So with Adam, he's learned, if you read something that says, doesn't actually have what it takes. But you see, over time, this guy has worked himself into a particular mode. I want to read
in
something on
progress put out by the NP.
it talks
Okay, sorry. We'll not. Okay, Precious, go ahead. We'll not take. We'll let Dr. Faith off the hook for now. Precious, go ahead.
Okay, so I'm saying even getting to the position of number 2 is not quite an easy thing, judging from the fact that he had failed and had come to that level. So being COO or being number 2 is actually a great fit. I still insist, and I agree with what Faith Azeta said, that he should be, that could have been a good time to ask the right question and to be more assertive. He's number 2, and that's true. But being number 2 is actually not an easy task to. Probably if he's allowed or given more space to do stuff, he'll do better. And nice guy is in context. It's not just, oh, he's nice. He could have been all that because he expects his boss to do most of the things that should be done. I strongly believe that if you have all the qualities for a job, if you fit into all the requirements, if you're hardworking, you follow through with your job properly, being the nice person shouldn't deprive you, or being a persona problem, which is what it is, shouldn't deprive you of getting a role. It could be worked on, it could be better, but I personally think it would be unfair to ask Adam to ask Mr. Adam not to be the CEO simply because he's a nice person. I don't think it would be nice. I don't think it would be fair at all. That's just all I'm saying. That's all I think.
How wide do you think the gap between the number 1 and number 2 is? Is this just like an incremental elevation, or is it a big gulf?
Of course not. It's not wide at all. It's not wide. So I'm sure the man must have seen him, take some decisions that are funny or too nice or too, I don't know, lenient. That's the word. Too. It's probably very lenient. I think we're mistaken. Well, the word nice in this context should be replaced with lenient or being, the word is lenient actually. So I think that could be worked on. I think that could be worked on, and it could be a good opportunity if he starts questioning, doing the right question, even from his boss, like, why should this be and why should that be? Why shouldn't I be the CEO if I've worked so hard, if I fit everything, and then you're just telling me I'm not brutal enough? I mean, anybody can learn to be brutal in months, in weeks. That's like the easiest
I'll come back
thing
to you on that.
I mean, it's a...
You see, anybody can learn to be brutal. I won't take you up on that yet. Just hold on, hold it there for now. Ishola Constance.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
I just want to say, if I am Adams, from the case study and what I have learned so far, I won't go for the job. Like what is it? There is a book you normally refer to. What brought you in may not take you there to the other side. Good. The quality he has brought it in, but this quality cannot take him to the sea what he's aiming for. Like, I saw this case study of something I was discussing with somebody that was running a restaurant just last week, and we were talking. And he was telling me the things he has been doing. Say, Mommy to say, you cannot believe this thing. Say, there's so much money here, but if you are not assertive, if you can't take your stand, you can't run this business. Say, you see my wife here, you see me here. I quit my other job to join my wife. He said because they steal a lot, and if you don't put your leg down, they will finish you. Say, but I have a motto: I either kill you or you kill me, and I've decided to kill you first. That's the one I'm speaking to him. He said, I don't take stealing for granted. He said, once they steal, I take them straight to the police. He said, and I have done it to several of them that they already know me. They've given me a bad name. He said, but it's okay. But I'm making my money, I'm smiling home with my millions. He said, the name, I don't need any good name from anyone. It's just that I want to do business. When he said it, I looked and I was trying to tell him some things that were happening in another person's business. How people are stealing, and the person will just look. If I take them to the police, who will pay them? They will see, they will leave them. Then things will happen. The person will look. Okay, if I remove this money from their salary, how much is their salary? He told me, no, mommy, to say that is not the way forward. That person cannot do business. I think I see the other person that he was referring to as a nice guy. He's empathic. He's looking at the people. If I do this, he's putting himself in the people's shoe, how they will feel, trying to feel what the people will feel, their pains and everything. And he is telling me that such a person may not get to the top, that you have to be brutal. So when I read this case study, I just remember the discussion. We had the discussion for more than almost 2 hours. We were standing on our feet and talking about this issue. And I looked at it and I said, wow. When I saw this case study, and the man said, Adam must be brutal. And I agreed with him, with what we discussed. And I said, yes, good, he's a nice guy. The number 2 is okay for him. Because of who he is, he may not be able to be, because he does not, somebody just say, I have not changed. I will ask him what it means to be brutal. Everybody knows what it means to be brutal. There's no need asking anybody. He has told you you have to be brutal in this business. And since it's not your personality, and personalities are not built overnight, what you will do, if it's something you can build with time, you will do that, but not in this situation now that it's on ground. Because it doesn't take just the next day for you to build that type of personality. For me, who you are is who you are. If you now want to change it, it will take some time for you to change it. If I'm in Adam's position, I will stay with the number 2. That's my take. Thank you.
So,
Just a
Mr.
question
Shola,
for
can I
you.
ask you a question?
Okay, go on, Precious. You want to ask
Okay.
me?
Well,
Okay, so if that business belongs to you, and then that's all you have, that's all you
yes,
have in your life, and all you
yes,
need for your, and you're a nice person, and your
yeah.
business is failing, all you need for your business to succeed is for you to be real, or let's be very real.
Go on,
And
go
then
on,
all
go
you
on.
need for you is for you to become assertive, and for you to become the blunt boss. Wouldn't you
Yes.
immediately learn to become, I mean, how many seconds would you take you to switch if you see your business is failing because you're being too nice? How long wouldn't you switch personas, because you have to, your business has to succeed? In this case, this is Adam's dream to become CEO. If I were Mr. Adam, I would switch personas immediately, there and then.
Okay. But I want to tell you.
Sorry,
I
the question.
Okay.
Sorry, Constance. The question I want to ask Precious is, how easy is it to switch persona?
To switch person, that's my own. Because I
Good
have
morning,
my
man.
business.
How
Good
easy
morning,
is
man.
that? How long
For
does
me,
it take?
for
1
me,
month, 1 year?
no. For me, it's happened to me, and that's why I know. The last place I worked, I was too lenient. I would bring ideas as the marketing person. The other person would take it, and I saw that it was beginning to affect my. It was just one day, in the meeting, I couldn't take it anymore, and then I just like, this is my idea. Why are you stealing it? It didn't, and from then, and usually when you start, you don't stop, because it's actually sweet to be where you can now, as someone that is nice and considered weak, where you can see that, okay, because I questioned this person, after the meeting, there was a lot of respect. And from there, it just kept getting better and better and better till I was promoted to the marketing head. And that's it. So for me, because it has happened with me before, I changed persona, because it didn't take 1 minute, because I just couldn't take it. I mean, it had happened and happened and happened until the day I said, no, this was my idea. You can't be getting applause for the things I do or the things I think about. So for me, I don't think, if truly the business is all you have, if truly Mr. Adam wants to be the CEO, I think it would be better considering the fact that he had failed before. There will be some level of ruggedness in his. I mean, I have to do this because I have to do it. And that's what he likes to do. He wants to own a hotel. If we're being real, I think if it's real life, Mr. Adam would change, because he had failed before and he understands what his boss is talking about. That's just what I think, ma'am.
Yeah, I think that's nice. I think you should be 1 in a million. And if you say you can change immediately. Why I said so, I have my own business. I am just like Adam. I feel like I understand Adam. I'm just like Adam till now. It's not that I've changed. But most time when they come to me and tell me, Inshallah, this thing, you will not go far in business. Somebody like you, because you are too nice, the way you feel about people, you not go. I will immediately say, okay, I can change. I may change for now, but the next week I will come back to myself. That's why I'm telling you that it does not say, it's not something you can just do. It's something you will give time, because to change personality is not a day job, because you didn't build it a day. So to just change your personality to a brutal personality is not easy. They have told me time and time again, this way you are going, you can't do it. You have to be assertive, you have to be this. I will try my best, I will go, I will fall, I will go. I'm still trying, I'm still working on it. So I can't tell you I've changed my personality, I'm not brutal.
Please,
So, Mr. Ishola, you
sorry,
mean
can
if
I
your
say
business,
something?
okay, yes, ma'am.
Go on, go on.
Yes, sorry. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning, Chinyere.
Yeah, so Precious, I think I'm in the same line of thoughts with you. So Mr. Shola, Dr. Faith. My own thinking is being brutal doesn't mean you're assertive, right? You can still be, I'm not, and being assertive mustn't be that you're nice, right?
Exactly.
I think and I don't think you need to change your personality, your whole personality, because you want to be brutal or you want to be assertive. I think you can have two personalities in life, especially when you're in different aspects of your life. For example, I want to use my parents, for example. My mom and my dad, we grew up in a house where my father was a very, very at home. He's a disciplinarian. Let me put it that way. You come to his day, once he's at home, the house is quiet. Then he marries my mother is someone that I don't know. It's not that I've grown up that I've seen that she has a different side to her. When we are little, she's someone that brings us together. Like when my father scares us away, she's the one that brings us together. So she's the nice guy, and my father is the bad person, right? Now that we're all grown up, I'm not saying that my mother is not a nice person. She brought out that side of her so that we don't become timid, or we don't build a relationship with our father. She brought out that personality of her that if my father flogs us with a cane, she drags us with the other hand and brings us close and explains to us why he does this, why he's behaving the way he's behaving. Now, I've come to realize my mother is because she has stayed with my father, but my father is a businessman, and like this, what you guys are saying, the assertiveness, the brutality, he exhibited it in his business life and also in his family life, so that he'll train more disciplined children. I've come to realize my mother now, because now my mother is now a head of the school. She's that person. She has learned that assertiveness, or assertive, not brutality. She's still a nice person, but leads a school with a very firm hand, or assertive hand, and is succeeding. And I'm asking her, Mommy, where did you get all this? When we are growing up, you're always the nice person. You're always the one that's always let it go, let's just move on, let everything be all right. I said, no, Chinyere, I learned this from your father. I learned to be independent from your father, to take matters by the horn from your father. And I've these qualities I've put in my career, and this way he has taken me so far. Now, coming to Adam and his boss, Adam has failed before in a previous business, and he has started working with this man that we see as a brutal and a very assertive man, and as his number two. And when you're somebody's number two, you learn a lot from the number one. And I want to believe that after all the many years of working, he has learned something from his number one, the mentor, his boss. Now, this business opportunity came. He was the one that pursued it. That shows what he's assertive. He knows what he wants. He takes the bull by the horn. He pursued the business. He researched about it, pursued it, they got it. And now he feels, since I did this, I think with what I've learned from my boss, I can be able to run this business, this chain of hotels. So he already has a belief in himself. Me, I feel the boss coming to tell him that with using his persona to deny him something that he has worked hard for, he pursued it, he showed from his character, from his the way he pursued it, he showed character that he can be able to handle this business when he once it's
Sorry,
handed
hold
over
on
to
there.
him.
Hold on there. Are you saying that because Adam pursued this opportunity, he has the ability to lead it?
Not just that. What I'm saying is he has worked with this man for a many number of years. He has seen his failing. I want to believe that the guy has mentored him. And he has seen, okay, I know what made me fail. And everybody needs to, and I think he
But
also
hold on,
reflected
sorry.
on the past.
It's the same
on the
reason.
past.
Sorry, I'm coming. It's the same reason when you say he has mentored him. Nobody knows Adam in the company like Merwin. So it's the same reason he's saying, I know you. You can't do this job. Is it not the same reason?
Well, you can't even nobody knows, but nobody knows Adam more than Adam. Adam knows himself more than anybody else. Another example I want to give is me myself. It's myself. There's a point in my life. There's a point in my life that someone thought I couldn't do anything.
Can I just say this?
Yeah, let me land, please. Someone in my life thought I couldn't do anything. I couldn't
Just
go far in
Dr.
life because of I am not intelligent compared to my siblings. They thought I couldn't get to university, the best university, because I wasn't intelligent compared to my siblings. And I proved the person wrong. And I'm continuing to prove the person wrong till today. So I think probably some people use that that kind of feedback to push someone to do better. That's how I see it. But I don't believe that you should use because of persona, because you don't know the person more than the person knows himself, to deny the person a job or an offer or a position. That's what I have to say.
No, just hold on there, Chinyere. Okay. Are you saying that in this kind of appointment, persona doesn't matter?
I'm saying what I mean to say, what I'm saying is that you don't, the person, whoever is close to you does not know you more than you know yourself. Persona is not.
Hold on.
Persona shouldn't be a criteria to deny somebody.
Let me do the summary for you, Chinyere, because I think you gave a very good submission.
Just hold on. I'll come to. Just hold on. I'm coming. Now you are saying that nobody knows me like me. I'm not arguing with you on that.
Yes.
But are you saying I go for an interview? Are you saying the perception of the interviewer about me should not count? So because I say I can be the head of engineering, they should just take me because I said so. Is that what you are saying?
It's what you present to the interviewer in terms of the questions they asked you, how well you answered the question that the interviewer will use to analyze or analyze your competency for that role.
To analyze Adam. He's using your daily interaction is like an interview. How much I know you. Now, so I'll give you the example. Let me give you an example. The Russian-Ukraine war, maybe because of my interest in war, I follow it a bit closely. So there was a time when it looked like Russia was losing. Putin changed the commander of the Russian forces. And the Economics of London said, wow, there's chaos ahead. That the new commander that blood doesn't do him anything. That he's going to bomb Kiev, kill children. Now, so you see the kind of leader Putin is looking for. Putin removed the other commander. This guy is not brutal. He's looking for only soldiers to kill. Go and kill anybody you see in Ukraine. So are you saying we should not look at personality? What is informing Putin in that decision? Personality. This guy is too soft. He sees children dying in Ukraine and he calls the army to come back. No, I want somebody who sees blood and is going ahead. So you don't think personality matter?
In this example, the context is different. This one is war.
No,
this one you need to.
Hold on.
In this particular one, sir.
Okay.
In this particular one, right? This is a man and his subordinates or his number two, and this is a business where for me, I believe that this the boss is being he's not being real with this guy. Are you going to tell me that you've stayed with someone for a very long time and you don't have confidence in him taking over from you or taking or exhibiting all that you've trained him
Okay,
to
let me
do?
quickly come in there.
That means
Odunayo,
you've not done
sorry.
your job well. That's what it means. You've not
No,
done your
hold
job
on,
well. That's what I
Chinyere.
believe.
Hold on, Chinyere. I'm trying to facilitate, so I don't want to say I disagree with you at this stage. Now, he says you are a perfect number 2. That takes me to the question Oluchi asked. A perfect number 2, you can give him, can stabilize things. Leadership and management, they are different. When you are managing, you are trying to keep things in context, trying to see that people do their work. When you are a leader, you are trying to chart a new course. That's the question earlier on. What is the gap between number 1 and number 2? Now, it is a lot. If I ask you now, who is the vice president of the US, you may not even know, but you always know number 1. If I ask who is the deputy prime minister of the UK, you may not know. The gap is so wide. What is number 2? This one, okay, Tinubu just said last week, it was this one, he said, fuel subsidy, that one is history. Then he just convened a meeting when the governors came to him. He told the vice president, go and work out all the palliatives we need to give to the people. That is number 2. Go and work out how we can make this removal of fuel subsidy more bearable. But the decision to remove it is it can take a lot from you. Now, Adam has been working with Merwin, and he sees when it comes to decisions that causes your hair to raise. No, Merwin doesn't take them. He doesn't, and if you see from his character, he likes parties. He likes this. And that's what he calls a perfect number 2. When I've made up my mind, let's open a branch in Uganda, I can send Merwin there. But if I say, Merwin, you be the one, it's a different thing. Okay, Mr. Adunayo, let me hear you. Mr. Adunayo.
Yes, sir. Good morning, sir. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
This conversation is very interesting. I've been getting so many takes on it, sir. So I just wanted, so on this particular matter, there's a particular quote that is resonating with my heart, which is that one can have 2 different opinions, 2 conflicting opinions, and yet still function. So I think I understand from both perspectives. But if I'm to I'll angle towards the fact that Adam needs to make changes and he has the capacity to make those required changes. I believe that he can make those changes, and from what we have learned from you over the years, even from your book, people can have multiple personalities, and those multiple personalities will be dependent on the situation on ground. So, like Precious has said, and also
Exactly
around that, you can meet the situation based on the personality.
Exactly my point.
So it's not, and it really is. I don't think Adam is so much of a nice guy, like the nice guy we are thinking. So I think we have read the case study and we're using the personality of Peter on Adam. Adam is not Peter. Adam has a much more different personality than Peter. And if you look at it, Adam has learned from the mistake he made, but he's still carrying baggage from the past. Like you thought of his artificial intelligence is still bringing the memories of what he has learned for the damage that happened with him with Tokimbra, But Adam has grown, and if Adam is determined, and for me, I feel that his mentor wants to know how much do you want this. I don't think he wants to get him out. He just wants to know, do you have the desire to have this? Are you willing to make the required changes? I like you. You are a good guy, but do you want this? How much do you want this? What will you do to ensure that that person who will take this?
Exactly.
And for that reason, I'll say Adam should go for it. But he should go with the knowledge that he needs to make the required changes to have that new personality that can meet those situations. And it's nothing. This is what we are saying. Personality are changeable. People change personality.
Passion drives character. Passion drives character.
Personality. the moment you see the requirement, you change, you learn, you pick it up, you move. You know, I don't think Adam should rule himself out simply because of that. I think he can make those required changes, and he has all it takes to make the required changes. And if he does, he will become a much more better boss than George, because he has the emotional intelligence to handle the situation.
And more years
Then
of experience because he had failed before.
He also has the personality which he will learn about being assertive. So it's a better mix than someone who really does not know how to be empathic, who does not have emotional intelligence, who just break down walls and all of that. But he can learn that part of being assertive, going for the goal, and also be that very good empathic boss who is very emotionally intelligent. I think for me, I'll encourage him to go for it. All right, Adam, I'll make the changes and move on with this.
Okay, you brought something that came up to me. You brought something up now, and I enjoy one of the comments you made. You said, which something I was thinking about when I was reading the case. Is it possible that Melwin wants to give the job to Adam, but the real thing is, Adam, you need to say you are ready to be a CEO? Is it possible? Because it's up to Adam.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say you are going to be. It's you that will say I am ready. Is that Mr. Adunai? I don't know if that was implied.
I think it's a test.
Yes, sir. I think that's what's happening.
Yes, me too.
I think that's what's happening. I think Mary wants to put the ball in Adam's court so that Adam would make the required changes that he needs. He doesn't want the changes to be externally motivated. He wants it to be internally motivated. And he's opening him up, he's opening his eyes to see that this gap exists in you. This gap I have noticed in you, right? And this gap will be the only thing that will make you not function properly in this role. Are you willing to make the required changes to take advantage of this? I think that's what the man is trying to do personally.
Okay. If can I just say, say something to that? Melwin has made up his mind. He has watched Adam for such a long time. He knows what Adam is good at. Now, someone said, nobody knows you like you know you. True. But Adam will have to prove that to Melwin and show Melwin a new part of himself. And that doesn't depend on Melwin. That depends on Adam. Yes, we can actually change ourselves. We can adopt for whatever we want. Who we are is who we are. The MD talks about success is who you are. And for those who have read the book, Realizing Mental Resilience, you find out that your life is a composite of all the meanings you make, and who you are is who you are. You can change it transiently, have multiple personalities. Why not? But in this case, nothing lies in the hand of Melwin. Everything lies in the hand of Adam. Does he have the guts, first of all, to actually keep going back to his boss to say, I want that position? Is he that bold? Is he that less people pleasing? Because when you're people pleaser, and that includes Melwin, you don't want to step on toes. If he's too scared to step on his boss's toes, he will not go back to ask for that position, even though he can actually build the capacity in himself to take on that role. So
what do you think Adam should do? Should Adam ask for it?
Very good. I think the question rests with Adam. Adam needs to decide how badly he wants the job and how badly he wants to quit who he was and become a new person that can handle that role.
Good. Okay.
And when we talk about being brutal, Adam doesn't have that capacity, but he can develop it. And being brutal is not a negative word in itself. It's the ability to take tough calls.
Okay, let me ask you this. Imagine that you are Adam and you really want the CEO, and you go back to Melwin. Just tell me how you will show to Melwin that, look, when the judgment time comes, you will make the judgment, you will make the right calls.
Very good. Now, in the last meeting we had, somebody talked about getting a coach for yourself. Agreed, Merwin has been Adam's mentor, but Adam needs to reach outside the organization, get himself a coach, prepare himself for that role without Merwin necessarily knowing about it, because he needs to be able to go back and ask for that role. He needs to prepare himself.
Hold on. We're saying that the decision of CEO needs to be made now. Is getting a coach and becoming a new person, is that going to happen that sudden?
No, what I'm saying is he needs to go back and ask for that role. But before doing that, he needs to prepare the ground. And one of them is get himself a coach, go back to his boss without necessarily mentioning that to him and say, I need this role, I can do it. And when he's saying it from deep down within him, because he knows he's willing to do whatever it takes, including killing his personality, his old personality, to be able to make whatever tough calls that needs to be made on that job. There was something said about the previous job he did in Tallyrimple about ethics. The truth is, if he was going by, that was his story. That was Adam's story, that he was going by ethics and the other people were not following ethics. The truth is, following ethics gives you power. So what it means is that he didn't have the capacity to wield power in his favor because he was doing the right thing.
No, sorry. So following ethics, God, sorry. Following ethics does what?
Following ethics. You see, we live in, I was listening to my coach, Mrs. Awoshika, and she said, you know, people think that when you do the right thing, you can't actually get ahead. That Nigeria is so corrupt, you have to be corrupt to get ahead. She said, no, you have to understand the power behind you in following ethics and doing the right thing. And in my experience, I've seen that to be true. When you follow the right path, it's a narrow path. Talk about you remember you taught me about the way less traveled, the road less traveled. Not many people are on that road, but it's a road fraught with challenges, but with so much power and so much value.
For time, sorry to cut you short. For
yes.
time,
yes,
I'll just make some of these comments. There are a number of hands that are up. Now, for me, I didn't, maybe I missed it in reading the case, that one of the reasons he failed in Tallyrimple was that he was following ethics. Now, in today's business world, I'll be very honest. In my own understanding, this is a facilitation session. This is not a lecture session. It will be difficult to be a leader and not break the rules. It will be, if you follow the rules, I'll be very honest in this session. No case study that we have done has really made me to reflect on who I am, like this case. Because when I watch a lot of videos and I read a lot of articles, 40% of all the elements of Mr. Nice Guy are inside me. So I kept asking myself, 2 a.m. this morning, so how do I do away with this part of Mr. Nice Guy? How do I become more brutal in this area? How do I... Now, but one of the things that I reflect on it, and one of the quotes by Steve Jobs about the unreason, which I posted on the WhatsApp group just before the session. Now, if you have read the biography of Steve Jobs, he was brutal. One of the most brutal CEOs. Now, and he would say, he often quoted George Bernard Shaw, that the unreasonable, he prided himself as being unreasonable. That the reasonable man is always trying to adapt himself to the world, comply with what is going on. The unreasonable man, his breakfast is breaking the rules. One of the videos I posted in the... Sorry, let me finish. One of the videos I posted in the group, I think yesterday or the first day, by George Peterson, it says, most of the people you see in prison is their unreasonableness, because unreasonableness makes you eager to break rules. You can't. Donald Trump is a rule breaker. Boris Johnson is #1 rule breaker in London. The #1 rule breaker.
Jesus is a rule breaker too.
But hold on, I'm coming. So my challenge, as I was looking at some of the character, I know some positions that I've held. One of the things that angered the people I was reporting to was that I was too eager to say, this is how they want us to do it. My very best friend, best man in marriage, till today, he is not too happy if I'm putting the way the rules should be applied. He wants to just see that we did it. And sometimes we try to do something and I said, this is what it says. He just ignores me. And he says that you can go beyond the boundary. He calls another person and asks him the same question. But now, this is my own, a little bit of 10 cents comment in input too. Whether personality can be changed suddenly or not. For me, the two cases are correct. There are situations where you are slowly becoming another person. There are situations in war where you just change. And business is war. Let me tell you, for some of us who are asking what does brutal means, I will recommend the book, The Art of War by Sun Tzu. The Art of War. You can take note of I'll post it in the group, I'll post the book. The Art of War by Sun Tzu. And what that book just says is that business is war. I don't want to go into several cases of business wars. Business is nothing less than war. And if you are going into business as a civilian, the board will get rid of. If it's a quoted company, if it's your own company, you are tending towards failure. If it's a quoted company, the board is likely to get rid of you within 6 months. Business is war, nothing short of that. The way, same way Russia and Ukraine, and that's the way business. Zenith Bank is not playing. There is no friendliness between Zenith and Access Bank. They know they are after one another. When marketers of Zenith come to me and they say, oh, I say I have an Access account, they know their target is to take me out of Access, not to say, okay, stay in. That's not their. So if you are the marketer, you get it, okay, you have an account with Access. No, and you go away. That is not the marketer they are looking for. Now, but circumstances can switch your brain in a way that suddenly doesn't go back. There are different things. I was reading an article once on Medium, 5 things that makes people lose weight quick. One of them that the writer said, he said, a broken relationship. He said a broken heart can make a girl lose 30 kg in 10 days. He says those things make you change suddenly. So sometimes when you are thrust into a leadership position, either you rise to the occasion or you die. Either you rise to the occasion or you die. Now, I will stop my own input there. So I don't know. I'm still seeing 3 hands at the hour, but I don't know.
Sorry, I just want to say, when I said Jesus was a rule breaker, they said you don't heal on the Sabbath day. He healed on the Sabbath day. The summary of that is that he did care who liked him or who didn't. He just needed to do his Father's business. And for me, his ethics were the ethics of the kingdom. And so when I talk about ethics, we have to be able to discern, look at the ethics of our profession and be able to tell ourselves or our business and say, how do we go about it? Where do we fit in with this? There is power in those ethics. And if we really run them, we will actually get ahead of those who are not running them with God on our side.
All right. Thank you for time. Precious, is your hand still up?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
So you asked Dr. Faith a question that I had already answered from the beginning. So I want to make it very clear. You asked her what she would do if it was immediate. If, as she said, she would go and speak with her coach and that. But remember from the beginning, I said the first thing to do is to ask the right question. You didn't seem convinced in the beginning, probably because I didn't go straight to explain properly. But I think that the answer to that is immediately right there, ask him the right questions, begin to be assertive from there, because I feel like passion pushes us to to develop new personas immediately because it's something I really want and you're telling me I can't get it. No matter how kind, no matter how empathic I am, at that point, as long as I'm passionate about it, the right persona will come out.
No, Precious, hold on. Let me ask you a question there.
His passion can get him that job.
Hold on. Now, Precious, I am very passionate about this hotel business. I am Adam. Look, all my head, everything. I just want to be CEO. I brought the idea of the acquisition. But how are you going to show in that instant of a moment in your meeting with Merwin that, look, the brutality the industry requires, you can exhibit it?
Well, that's immediately, if you were there, real life, what you would do is simply ask him, if I really want, I'm number 2, and it's time for me to be number 1, and you're telling me I'm not brutal enough. I mean, the first question anybody will ask is, whether politely or impolitely, most people will come off politely. What do you mean I'm not brutal enough? Okay, how can I be brutal?
He already knows.
So yeah, I probably don't know.
That answer.
No, I don't know, because left to me, what Adam was expecting is to become CEO. So you're telling me now, with all my expectations, how hard I've worked, number of years, failures, and all of that. Considering, let's not forget that he had failed before, and now he's here. So now he's really passionate about doing this. Except, like, if you're thinking about it like a real person, like he's very passionate about it now. So you're telling me I can't be CEO because I am not brutal enough. The first question anybody will ask is, what do you mean I'm not brutal enough? How can I be brutal enough? Then that would, if the
Precious, hold on. Precious, hold on. I am Merwin.
If you are brutal, you will know. If you are not brutal, you will know.
Okay. Precious, hold on. I am Merwin. So you have asked me that. Hold on. You have asked me that I am not brutal enough. Okay, let me answer you. You remember when I sent you, when you were the head of quality, and the other lady who was your best friend was not performing? You could not terminate her. You can't lead it. Now I'm sending you to a hotel where you are a hotel business, where you are likely to terminate people frequently. And what you showed there, because of your personal friendship, because that's what Mr. Nice people do. Their personal friendship comes before the business, before the objective, where they are going to. Because in answering some of these questions, we need to understand the qualities of Mr. Nice.
Then I'll simply not employ, since I'm in charge of the next hotel, I'll simply not employ my personal people.
So that will be your answer?
That will be my answer, genuinely. I'm being real.
Hold on. Remember that more often than not, the day you become CEO, it may not be your relatives. You are going to become friends with people. You are going to. It's not that.
There are many nice people. There are principles that, like, there are many nice people that would not even borrow up money. They cannot get back. They rather dash out some amount and not. But they are still nice. There are many nice people that wouldn't employ family members in their business. So there are principles that should be learned for businesses, not just being nice. And I still think the word nice should be in quotes here. It should be lenient, not nice. And leniency it can be worked on. That's
okay,
just what I think.
For time. Tinyere, are you still raising your hand or it's by mistake? Okay. All right. For time, maybe we should just, I want us to just move a little bit. Let's just, what are the attributes of nice people?
Yes, I am.
Okay, you are. Okay, quickly.
Yes. Okay, yeah. So to answer the question you asked Dr. Faith about what you would do in that instance to get the job or to get the job. For me, I wrote my response in the comment section. Before going to meet Merwin, I would have asked myself the questions he would have asked me. Like, okay, I'm going to ask for this job. This is what possible questions that Merwin will ask me, possible response he will give to me. And I would have plotted my response to them and my plan B if being going direct doesn't work. like I said in my comment section, I will go through the company has board members. I'll go through the board members, do my power analysis. He's not the only one that takes decision in the company, in the chain. I'll go, and that way will show that going through that means to me, will show him that I am brutal. I can also go to him. He will show him that this girl has, as this person thinks outside the box, can do things without me getting approval from you or anybody else. So that would be that's going through that route to show that I have this quality in me to at least you're seeing something that's shifting your mindset from the nice guy you think I am. I think that's what I'll do.
Okay, all right.
Over.
I think this is just by agreement. It's not a lecture. It's not saying, but I think I agree with Chinyere, because what I think is, like I said, from when Mr. Adunayo was talking, after Mr. Adunayo's contribution, I think one of the things Melwin is finding out is, show to me that you are a CEO material. Because personally, with all my personal reflection that there's so much Mr. Nice Guy in me and I need to make some amendment over the last 4 days, I said, if I am Adam, I will not just go home. There are some comments. I mean, there are some of the emails I got, some of the commentaries, even on the Harvard Business Review website, that Adam should forget the CEO. I will not forget it. I will not. But I will need to demonstrate, like Chinyere said, I need to bring more people. There is no board. I will need to mobilize an army of people. And we need to show to Melwin, look, Melwin, you know, COO is different from CEO. I didn't make some of these things. You need to just talk pop. Now, but one thing I will put at the back of my mind, I may lose. But I am not going to just walk away. That's one of the things I've learned from my friend too. Sometimes when he wants to break rules, he knows that breaking the rules does not guarantee victory. But he knows that it's the boundary that seems to be appearing before him. He's not going to take that boundary. Now, sometimes being overly nice it makes you think, like some of us, if we have studied children, don't go here. There are children who will not go. Now, psychology says that is when the character of Mr. Nice begins to be formed. There are the children, because you said don't go. That is the only reason they will go. Now, they are already, according to Jordan Peterson, say the attributes of Mr. Nice and the other one are formed by the age of 4. It's so low for me. He says by the age of 4, you already know the kids are good, that who will grow up to be Mr. Nice and those who will not. But the good thing too, personality is changeable. They grow up to become that way, but it doesn't mean you will die that way. So if I'm Mr. Nice today, and I'm saying that it is not working for me, one of the things I've also learned as a lifelong learner is, what do I want? Somebody commented on the WhatsApp group that who is this woman, or who is saying all this? So don't remove all the nice men. Now you need to. I think one of the things that should inform what you need to do in every situation. What do you really want? If you are comfortable with being CEO, then stay there. There are people as a trainer. I have trained in organizations. I remember one training for a hospital, and one of the doctors who was a consultant, he told me, I don't want to be made a departmental head. I hate all the shenanigans of managing people. I want to practice medicine. Now, there are people like that. They just want to excel in their careers because when you bring in human beings, it's a different kind of skill. It's not first class. Adam graduated first class with his MBA. Managing human beings, becoming tough. I remember some years ago, I can't remember whether we even got the answer. My sister came to me, one of my sisters came to me and said, our neighbor, another woman, told my mom that she will outlive my mom. He called my mom. He said, when you are dead, I will still be alive. My mom said, why? He said, you are too nice. He said, nice people don't make it. You can just imagine. She told my mom, point blank, nice people don't make it. Now, there are evidences to show that a lot. I found out, in fact, because of this case study, I found that there are just so many companies in the US that the consultancy firm are handling Mr. Nice. One of the audio books I listened to 3 days ago, he has over 1,000 people as clients. I didn't know this is an industry. But just because of time, what are one of the attributes of Mr. Nice? Why in some of the videos I watched, they said, Mr. Nice people may be nice today, but they cause a lot of damage. That Mr. Nice people don't speak up. And when they have bottled a lot of this thing, they just get angry and rock the boat. For me, looking at my own personal character, that assertion is 100% correct. Oh, somebody is doing something, I'm not saying anything. So I don't like this person's work performance, I'm not saying anything. Then one day I'll just say I'm done. I remember working under Mr. I'll call his name, yeah, but it's recorded. Let me say Mr. Matthew, let me know when I was in Port Harcourt. Mr. Matthew speaks his mind 10 times per second. But do you know what I noticed? There are people who are working with him 20 years that they cannot work with me. I don't speak my mind though, but they cannot work with me for 1 month. Now I started looking, I said, I will bottle up, and at the end of the month, I'm done. But Mr. Matthews, God punish your father. How can somebody be this? He says this there. So you came 9:30. If you came 9:30, I am quiet. I just observe it. So you are habitual, this thing. But one of the things I learned listening to a lot of YouTubes in the last 4 days, they gave different examples. A lady I listened to yesterday, she talked about Cody, something like a popular, like an online story, but I couldn't get the story. He said, remember when Cody killed her husband? He said she didn't want to marry the man. He said, but instead of speak out, the father and her pastor were encouraging her to go ahead. He said, when the marriage happened, he said 6 weeks after marriage, Cody organized for her husband to be murdered. He said, on the day her husband died in New York, she was in a party. He said, that's why police arrested her. He says, nice people, they don't speak up. Now, for me, it's not good. I remember, apart from this story, I remember one popular story. If I get the link, I can put it on the WhatsApp group. Then I was living in England. This Indian guy, the family, and I'm sure some of us read the story, very wealthy family in London. The family arranged for a wife for him. But the guy is secretly gay. He didn't want the father and mother to know that he was gay. They did everything, spent millions of pounds sterling to do a very expensive wedding. Then he traveled with the girl to South Africa. Meanwhile, all the period they were planning for wedding, he had gone to Cape Town to arrange for people to murder the girl. This one, I'll put the link in the WhatsApp group after this thing. After the wedding, he organized a honeymoon to Cape Town. And he had signaled them. He had told them where he would stay. In 1 week long, they would stay in the hotel when they would come for the wife. They murdered the wife. They did it so clean. It took 2 years of British and South African police investigation to finally get to it. And I think the guy is serving, I don't know, 20 or 30 years jail in the UK now. It was so clean, it was so difficult. He came like he was crying. But after they did the final, after 2 or 3 years, he finally came out. He's gay. He didn't want, he's to inherit his father's companies in London. He didn't want his father and mother to know that he was gay. And when they were pushing him into the marriage, he kept going along. Now, people who are assertive will speak. They will speak up. Being assertive, not being a nice guy is just more than being brutal. There are times, like one of the case studies, the one I said we are not discussing, I think one of the commentators, that one I posted on the group already, said the problem is not only Paul. Said the CEO himself is not assertive. He said he knows Paul is Mr. Nice Guy, how to take women out, how to go and buy them lunch, how to make people happy, how to carry them to parties. He said he knows it, but he's not talking to Paul. That the CEO himself You see, an assertive leadership, you let the person know. Now, as I was reading it, and one of the things thank God for Jordan Peterson, the video I posted on the group. At one stage, it looked like I was a hopeless case. I said, I don't know whether at my age, I can turn some of my Mr. Niceness. Jordan Peterson, he gave some rules. He said, if the person is like this, now tell the person to begin to practice this. Now, I will also tell you this. It is not to say that one character is better than the other. One of the things I found out in life, from also partly listening to Marshall Goldsmith, what brought you here will not take you there. If you choose to be wicked all the time, that is not a guarantee you will get to the top. You may not even make it to COO. It is not wickedness that will take you there, like this woman was telling my mom. It is not wickedness that will take you there. What I have come to see that works is understanding the context per time. I think what Precious that said something about context. What personality do I need to show in this context? What people, I think, in Realizing Mental Resilience, I think chapter 36, I read the last book, the last chapter of Realizing Mental Resilience is we all have multiple personalities. There are people who say, I am an introvert. They are wrong. They carry a label. You have all the, look, inside me, Tunde Ekpekurede right now, I am a pastor, I am an introvert, I am an extrovert, I am a murderer, I am a priest. All of them are inside me. The what I decide to exhibit is now the context before me. If the context before me calls for brutality, I must be ready to act. You can't be brutal or you can't become CEO just by being all the time you are brutal, you are being brutal. You must know when to be affirmative. You must know when not to be. If you don't know how to read context, you just choose one. I am an extrovert. You get to a meeting, before they say anything, you are the first to talk. You get to this, no. In a meeting like this, it's an opportunity for you to begin to even shift. If you have been used to be quietness, I would call on you, begin to learn how to talk and make your voice heard. One of the things, if you watch some of the YouTube videos and read some of the Harvard Business article, Mr. Nice people go to a meeting, they nod their head, even though they don't agree. How many of us go for meetings, a meeting of 20 people, only 2 people are dominating the meeting? Why? They are people who speak out. But even though we don't agree, Mr. Nice guys just go. Then they go away, they are murmuring. But sometimes what happens? The people who spoke their minds, even though they were disagreed with, they went away from the meeting with a better feeling. They spoke their minds. No, you didn't agree with them, but yes. I was in a partnership with an Irish guy some years ago. We acquired a company. 2 years later, the company failed. 10 years later, I was back in Britain working with this white guy. He said to me, Tunde, did you know why that business failed? I said, I never thought about it. He said 2 of us were too alike. So now he started telling me that what we could have done, say we were partners who were thinking the same. We became partners because of our agreeableness. Now he said we would have looked for somebody that would be challenging us. There's a video I will post in the WhatsApp group from London Business School, why you should have unreasonable men in your team. That if you are just bringing, I played that particular video because I am guilty of it. I like aggregating around agreeable people. But the lecturer says, no, all progress takes place because of the unreasonable man. Because he has chosen, Steve Jobs decided all his life to be unreasonable. Go and Google reality distortion. Steve Jobs is the one that invented it. If you tell him this is the future of the computer industry, he will tell you he's creating a new future. His staff always felt that he was an oxymoron. What are you saying? He's creating another one different from what the industry was saying. Now, the unreasonable people make the world to adapt to themselves. But the reasonable one is always trying to fit himself. So what did they say? What are the rules? What are the new rules of electricity regulation? What are the new rules of real estate? I have met a few unreasonable people. They have started their construction when they have not gotten building approval. Now, it works in some circumstances, I will tell you that, as somebody who is also into real estate. But there are circumstances which your building will be destroyed. So you must know how to read the context. Should I come up? Just know that you have all the character. Should I come out today with Mr. Nice Guy? If you read the meeting, behave like the Apostle Paul. It doesn't pay me to say I'm a Hebrew here. Men and brethren, I'm a Pharisee. If you read the context, it requires brutality. You have to be brutal. You just have to read the book, The Art of War by Sun Tzu. If the context calls for brutality, if you are doing Mr. Nice, the person is still coming. I said I was Mr. Nice in ABB Powerline, I was chief operating officer, but I will also tell you the other side. I sacked the highest number of employees in the history of ABB Powerlines. By the time I switched and found out that a lot of ABB staff were taking my Mr. Niceness for granted, I closed the whole department in 1 week. So sometimes you can switch. Sometimes, if you are attached to a label, you can go to Harvard Business Review, Google the dangers of living with a label. I am an introvert. Nobody's an introvert. Nobody's an extrovert. Find out if there are situations where you need to be quiet, be quiet. There are situations where you need to speak. If you refuse to speak, you will die. There are situations where you need to be quiet. If you refuse to be quiet, you will die. So what am I saying? You must always see that you study context. That you are not, don't come to a meeting with a prearranged agenda. This is what I will do. No, tell yourself I will look at the context. There is one case study I have, challenge the boss or standard. The guy did not read the context. I don't want to, maybe one day we'll review it. I don't want to go into it. So, but if you just say every time I'm going to challenge the boss, in ancient Rome, when you challenge Caesar, they will go for your neck. That is what Herod did to John the Baptist. That you challenge and you must always know how to read context. All right. Dr. Fred, I don't know that you are raising up your hand. We are almost up with time. The final comments
yes,
and inputs.
Just a quick one. When you were talking, you talked about in talking about niceness, you talked about wickedness. I don't think the opposite of niceness in the context is wickedness. Brutality in making decisions, kind of thinking, does not necessarily mean wickedness. It just means decisiveness to be able to do a thing when it's called for. And I just wanted to see if we could put that in.
All right, thank you very much. So just to wrap up again, like I've said, thank you for that. You see why they change leaders sometimes. There's one case study I have in my laptop here, Harvard Business Review. It's about Ford Motor Company. The CEO himself, you see, I always say something about self-awareness. When Ford needed to downsize in Detroit, the CEO said he was not the right person. I always love that case study. When you've done a good self-analysis, he knew what it meant to close plants and that the unions were going to fight Ford. He went to Boeing and recruited one guy, Alan Mulally. Alan Mulally was an engineer with Boeing, ruthless. He himself, a CEO recruiting somebody to replace him. He can't stand the unions. Or sometimes, why do government sometimes fail? If the president is weak, before you say something, the Nigerian Union of Teachers, they will go on strike. He quickly change his mind. Now, he has become president, so he's in the place now to take real consequential decisions, but he's unable to face the battle. But you will just see, Margaret Thatcher is one of the persons when you study leadership. When she was Prime Minister of Britain, when she decided to privatize the rail, the electricity, she privatized things that Margaret Thatcher started privatization in history. When the electricity union went on strike, they shut down London for weeks or months. She didn't care. If you have been following what is going on in Paris recently, over the increase in retirement age, the president has refused to address the rioters. They've shut down Paris for nearly 2 months. He's not even addressing them. Now, there are certain qualities you need at different times. Now, so what Merwin is saying to Adam, number one and number two, the gap is wide. The things I tell you to go and do, go and find out palliatives. They are easy to do. Management is easy. Management is is management is compliance, making sure the HRO rules are observed, making sure this leadership. Oh, I will tell you, I was watching CNN after Tinubu made his democracy speech. So somebody said he's giving a democracy broadcast, but he sacked the CBN without asking. You see, the Constitution, I was reading a section on the Constitution. The Senate will have to write the president to suspend the CBN governor. Then one other guy now said, what are you saying? You are saying you want to cut the ears of somebody, but there should be no blood. See, that is leadership. You can't get rid of the CBN governor without breaking the rules. See, that is not time for to obey rules. Now, you must know all of this context, because there are things you will do. You know that you will break rules. You just know that you are going to break rules. But where you refuse to break rules, management is about obeying rules. Leadership is about breaking rules. And it's a very simple definition, but it's not all correct. But I will tell you in the most simplistic term, management, the COO, the number 2, manage the economy. The Constitution of Nigeria says that the vice president will be in charge of the economy, not leading Nigeria. He's in charge of the economy. Keep the rules, make sure that NNPC, all of them, obey the Constitution. The president's own is different from that. Thank you very much. Our time for today is gone. So I hope you picked something out of it that will help you to become a better person. Oh, tonight we didn't hear from Oluchi today. Okay, by default, Oluchi has spoken before you came into the group. So I hope you got something today that will make you a better person. I'll tell you honestly, I am a lot better. Just the preparation I made for this case and participating in today's session. So I hope that you got something. By end of today, I will post our next case study for next week, Wednesday. Thank you so much. You are free to unmute and exit. We should discuss this comment in future. Deep management is about obeying rules. Leadership is about breaking rules. Interesting. That is the summary definition. Steve Jobs lived his whole life breaking rules, and he built the largest company today in the world. So you can't unmute yourself and exit. Let me stop the recording.
Thank you, sir. I think we should extend this session. But another week. We should continue from here next week, of course.
Seriously.
Yeah, so I second that motion.
Thank you, Mr. Odunaya, for
This one is something else.
Table shaker, your Odunaya is around.
He's looking for me. Thank you.
Table shaker, you didn't talk, will you?
Sir, no, I'm not. I'm under the weather, but it's fine. Thank you.
It's fine.
Bye, guys.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, Constance.
Thank you, sir.
Okay,
thank you, sir.
Okay, bye-bye.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you
Bye.
very much,
Thank you.
sir.
Thank you.